Greetings and welcome to my channel. I wanted to follow up on my first video about special extra earnings for military service. I've received many questions on that video and I was hoping to provide some clarification and maybe more information that will be a little more useful. Again, I didn't even know about this benefit until I started learning the detailed calculator, NEPIA. So here's what I've found out since that first video. In case you're watching this video first, I'm going to go ahead and explain the benefit. If you have qualifying military service from 1957 through 2001, special earnings are credited to your account for Social Security purposes. Social Security payments are based on your average indexed lifetime income calculated using the highest 35 years of income for the retirement benefit. If you have 40 years of income subject to Social Security and disability insurance, the lowest 5 years are dropped. If you only have 30 years of income, then 5 years of zero income are included in the average. Special extra earnings may increase your average and therefore increase your Social Security payment. The main reason I say may increase is because if you have 35 years of income that was higher than, say, you had 4 years of military service, but you have 35 years of other income that was higher, even with the extra $1,200 added in to the military service years, your benefit will be based on those 35 years that aren't military service, so your benefit won't be impacted. The years that are used in the calculation have to be part of your military service in order to be impacted by the payment at all, or the credit. Now on the site, this is actually the PDF file from Social Security. It says, under certain circumstances, special extra earnings for periods of active duty from 1957 through 2001 can also be credited to your Social Security earnings record. From 1957 through 1967, we will add the extra credits to your record when you apply for Social Security benefits. From 1968 through 2001, you don't need to do anything to receive these extra credits. The credits were automatically added to your record. After 2001, there are no special extra earning credits for military service. So if your service is after 2001, part of my service is after 2001. That's why I only have 9 of 20 years credit where I actually receive credit. The information that follows explains how you can get credit for special extra earnings. This applies only to active duty military service earnings from 1957 through 2001 again. From 1957 through 1977, you are credited with $300 in additional earnings for each calendar quarter in which you received active duty pay. From 1978 through 2001, for every $300 in active duty basic pay, you are credited with an additional $100 in earnings, up to a maximum of $1,200 a year. If you enlisted after September 7th, 1980, and you didn't complete at least 24 months of active duty or your full tour, you may not be able to receive the additional earnings. Check with us for details, it says. Next, I wanted to go over a couple examples to help explain how the extra credit works. And first, we have the differences between with and without extra credit. This is specific to my situation, and I used the updated NEPIA calculator. I actually updated it a few days ago just so I could see what changes might have occurred, which it is a little bit of a change from last year. Anyway, first 9 of 35 years with qualifying military service. Again, this is my situation. And I have 2 of the 35 years are $0 since I only worked for 33 years. So there's $1,200 added to earnings from 1993 through 2001. That's my 9 years. The results are in today's dollars. It increased my average indexed monthly earnings, which is AIME, and that's the basis for the calculation, from $2,994 to $3,046. So that the $2,994 is without entering my military time. and then $3,046 with. So the 9 years of $1,200 increased my average by $52. And that increased my full retirement age benefit from $1,552 to $1,568. So for 9 years of qualifying service, that's a $16 gain in my benefit, or my calculated benefit. And again, this is in today's dollars. This isn't taking into account that by the time I hit 67, there's going to be a lot of inflation between now and then. So the calculator, I left forward projections out. I pulled out a few years of my income to show what the impact is of the extra earnings on your indexed income. And you'll see here, like in 1993, my earnings without the credit were $8,826. My indexed earnings on that amount would be $21,224. With the credit, the extra $1,200, it shows my income is $10,026. When indexed, that becomes $24,110. So that's basically in today's dollars. It's actually in 2 years ago dollars, but it's just the way they calculate the inflation adjusted income. So the equivalent of earning $10,026 back in 1993 is about $24,110 in 2019, approximately. And so that impact is $2,886. So 1997, the extra $1,200, the impact was $2,434. In 2000, the extra impact was $2,076. And the reason why it decreases as time goes on is because it's inflation adjusted. So in general, most years it's going to continue to decrease. So the closer you get to 2001, the less it's going to be worth as far as your average earnings. Then I did an example with 20 years of qualifying service. And I assumed the following. We have 35 years of income averaging $30,000 a year or $2,500 a month. 20 years of qualifying service between 1968 and 2001. So we would receive a $1,200 credit for 20 years. The results, again, in today's dollars, and I didn't even index this, so I didn't use the calculator. I didn't use NEP to do this. This is just an estimate and not adjusting the average income throughout the years. Basically, I just determined $30,000 per year to do the calculation to get a kind of an idea of what that $1,200 impact would be. This isn't exact. It increased the average income to $30,686 per year or $2,557 per month. So you notice that's a $686 per year increase, or only $57 per month, which is only a little more than my average increased. It increased the full retirement benefit by 0.32 times $57, which is $18 per month. And again, my increase was $16 per month. The reason that the 20 years of service compared to my 9 years of service doesn't seem to have much of an impact is because I have years where I have zero income averaged in. So my income outside of my military time is actually pretty low. And that's why this has a bigger impact. Again, the lower your overall income, the larger the impact. I received a couple of questions about what service counts. And according to the Social Security website, this is what they say. So what do we mean by active duty military service? Active duty military service means that you served on active duty for training, or were in the reserves for any of the following U.S. military organizations. So the Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, Coast and Geodetic Survey, Marines, National Guard, Navy, and a commissioned officer in the public health sector. Also, someone mentioned the windfall elimination provision. which affects people who have income that was not subject to SSDI payments such as CSRS. Usually, these are government jobs that have separate retirement programs. While this provision can severely reduce your Social Security benefit, the special extra earnings for your military service can only increase your potential Social Security payment, even if it is impacted by the elimination provision. Probably the biggest question I got asked was, how do you know if your credit was applied? First, your Social Security statement does not include the credit and has no indication that you had qualifying service. Second, you provide your service dates when you apply. Maybe. It is possible if you file online and you don't have income prior to 1968, you may not have to provide service dates. If your service was prior to 1968, you may need to provide a copy of your DD-214 or other service verification. Basically, when you apply, you verify your service dates if possible and trust the system. I think I can at least confirm that my military service is included, so this supports that the system does work. Here's my estimate from the Social Security website. Notice that I entered $0 for average future salary. This is the same amount I have entered in the detailed calculator. I thought I'd have to mess with the detailed calculator, but this is exactly matched the NEPA calculator result with my 9 years of service credited. And here are my results. In column A, I have NEPA calculation without military service. In column B is my NEPA calculation with military service. And C is Social Security website estimate that I just showed you on the previous page. Again, I thought I would have to do some finagling or something, but the numbers matched exactly. So my estimate is that this is support that the credit is automatically applied. This also means the Social Security website estimate is calculated in today's dollars. And I've confirmed that with further reading into the online calculation, both from the Social Security website and from a couple other websites of people who have written articles about Social Security and the military benefit. Some further information comes from this article from pbs.org about, am I receiving extra Social Security credit for my military service? And in a question to Larry Kotlikoff, who worked on Social Security for quite a while, at least a couple years straight, he did a lot of research into Social Security. And the question was from someone who had service between 1980 and 1984, but was not prompted to provide dates of military service. And to this, Larry said that mistakes can occur down here at the bottom, but I'd be very surprised if you aren't already receiving full credit for your service. And that's because any service after 1968 was automatically credited. Any service prior to 1968, which he goes into right here, people need to provide proof of their active duty, in the example DD-214, to get the credits. So if you had service prior to 1968, you may actually need to provide proof of your military service. From 1968 on, it looks like it's automatically added and with a pretty high degree of confidence. In summary, make sure you have your service dates available when you apply for Social Security benefits. It may not be necessary for service after 1968. There's no good way to verify that you are actually receiving credit, but you should trust the system. If you want to dig into it, you could learn the detailed calculator, compare it to what the Social Security calculator says, and see if it seems to include the $1,200 credit. The amount of this benefit is generally very small. Again, in my case, it's $16 per month in today's dollars. So in or when I hit 67, it's going to be different than that, but it's not going to be a lot different, I don't think. My wife is actually fairly low income, and it's about a $25 increase for her benefit because it's multiplied by a different factor. I want to thank you for joining me on this topic. If you have suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comments. Consider subscribing if you like this content and would like to learn more about personal finance. If you're going to retire, retire to something.